How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Sunday night. It is time for some captain time. There is sports, but I would be remiss. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to all the folks that are here watching. I know that Hot Neil and John Leon are already over there on YouTube watching. If you're over on Facebook watching, welcome. God, I got to clean up my room. I've been busy. As I think I put into the comments section, coming back from another of my weekends of I call it the reunion circuit, and it's nice because 2 weeks ago I was hanging out with the friends that I graduated with as far as like the graduation class over in Orlando from Colonial High School. And this past weekend, I was over with my friends from Oak Ridge High School. So if they're here watching the show, thank you as well. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, that's fine too. Come on over. We have our shows. Check it out, youtube.com, Captain Jack Rackham Levy. Obviously, if you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, please come over to YouTube as well. It is a lot better visually and sound-wise. So it's great to have you here. I think we were joined by Sharif Saala Khan. Good to see you, brother. Mike Sarah's in the house as well. Thank you to that. Again, if you're watching on anything else, come on over to YouTube. We are not on Twitter as of yet. I've tried to pick up my other Facebook, personal Facebook, and so I'm putting it out on that because I wasn't seeing comments on Twitter live anyway, so I think I've gone to a rebroadcast mode for the folks on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, go back over to YouTube because you're watching a rebroadcast anyway. Hot Neil, I'm sorry to hear you're leaving the show, but if you got things to do, I understand, sir. You be sure to take care of yourself. It's always good to hear from you, Hot Neil. Cool Kev has joined us, as well as Matt. Thank you for the. This is an old Black Sunday shirt, old school. Quantities from way back. And well, Kev's throwing you some beers. They're hot, Neil. But always a pleasure to have everybody in the house. Yeah, it is vintage. Thank you. That's a better word than old. Then I'm vintage. I'm vintage. I like that. Sharif, you are as well. And I didn't get a chance to do a little bit of Facebook snooping today. I saw Sharif was out with some pictures of, was it superstar Billy Graham, I believe? And again, may he rest in peace. He just passed. China, permission to come aboard granted for anybody out there. Good to see. OG is seasoned. OG is seasoned. I'm salty. I am vintage. OG is seasoned. And it was good to hear from. I don't know if whether you you were here the other was it Thursday? Yeah, OG was actually on here Thursday. We had OG as well as Jack Kenna on like a 3-screen. I was out there. And you know, OG and Jack are very good friends, and it's always good to hear from them. And again, if you're new to the show, I eventually stopped talking. I swear. I do like a 20-minute intro catching people up on what's going on, but that's just the way it is. I do say that my shows are better when you participate because you don't want to hear me talk for 2 hours. Yeah, the 3 Jacks. The 3 Jack show. OG Jack Daniels, Jack Kenna, and Captain Jack. So it was the three Jack show. 3 Jacks could also be inferred for other things. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to try to keep it PG. But it was great Thursday, again, Friday, Saturday, and just left today from my high school friends from Oak Ridge. Again, love all my comrades and shipmates and ladies and all that are there. Raider Ben. Oh, thank you there, sir. When did it come here? And Raider Ben's getting ready for bed. Let me post this. Want to show some love before I get ready. Got work and so yeah. Hey, Ben, enjoyed being on with your show. And I enjoy being on with anybody. Don't take that as an insult, Ben. I'm just saying I enjoy coming on with all my partners in crime. And it was enjoyable with Raider Ben. I stayed up. It was a Friday. Was it last Friday? It was last Friday, not this past Friday. But it was great to hang out with Raider Ben. And we'll do that another time as well. Again, for any of the content creators that are Raider fans, I will come on as I have time. I will make time, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to say anything. Okay, what's John have to say? I'm not going to say anything unless the guys are here, but they are true Raider haters. Who's a true Raider hater? John? Oh, you mean not us, but other people. Okay. The last week's shows before the scheduling gave you the inside info about the first 3 games. Yes, you did. And again, Sharif always gives me good info. Because again, when I say I have sources, I'm not diming Sharif out, but Sharif is giving me fantastic info before the fact. Before the fact. Because he has sources, and I trust his sources, and Sharif is my source of the sources, right? So that's great. So when I tell you I know things, it's because I know things from people that know things, right? Hey, McBud's over here. You know, evening, the old scurry Nave. Nave. Nave is actually with a K, Matt. It's K-N-A-V. I know it looks weird, but it's really Nave. What's he got to say? From you know where, McBud is over, me buddy in Scotland. I know that's a friggin' awesomely bad accent, but Matt, good to see you, brother. Oh, you're moving. China's moving. Cool. Blessings there. Kathy, you want to think about Brady getting stock from us? Nothing I can do about it, Neil. I mean, I don't own the Raiders. I wouldn't mind having a vested interest in Raiders, but I don't have millions of dollars. He's an old dude with millions of dollars and money to piss away. Dark's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Dave Chappelle is here as well. Dark, that is a frightening picture, sir. Nothing more frightening than this coming at you live, but you got it. Again, Max over in Scotland. OG Jack and Rudy. Oh, well, OG. Okay, here's the thing. OG, Jack and Rudy, they're not haters, John. They're very, 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 very pessimistic. And speaking of the devil, Rudy's here, right? I hate Tom Brady and I hate the Patriots. Okay, John, I will say now, until I see otherwise, because I know OG is like a 50-year fan for me. He's very pessimistic. He's not enthused. You got to pump him up to get some life in him. Jack, definitely pessimistic. Jack wants to like blow the season in order to get Caleb Williams. Whether we do it or not, whether we do it deliberately, I should say. If we do it deliberately, that remains to be seen. I don't think we will. Again, as long as we show promise, as long as we show, that the team is getting better, we'll be good with that. And everybody's all pissed off about Jimmy Garoppolo. I get it. They're pissed off about Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, well, the Raiders screwed up. Nah, well, they already knew he was injured from his days in San Francisco, but he was the best quarterback available at the time. And I will say available at the time because I wanted Jacoby Brissett. I'm on record. T3, Tom Jones, and I both were on record. Both were on record to have Jacoby Brissett as our quarterback. So I get it. 1 second, I gotta do a reply here. I gotta finish this note. Okay, I had to do that because somebody hit me up with something I had to take care of. Okay, and therein lies the rub. Well, but John, it's not really hating on a team. For example, and Sharif, I'm going to use you. Sharif, I'm going to use you as well. Okay, Sharif was a definitive anti-Carr. Oh my God, the guy. Sharif is Raiders fan, but he couldn't stand having the team run under Derek Carr. Correct? Sharif will back that. Sharif will back that. Do you see Jacob starting week 1 for the Raiders? Matt, I do, provided he signs his tag. We'll see about that. McBud, yeah, it's good to see you, McBud. Well, take care over there in Scotland. And I said OG's real for it's real. And like I said, he's just disillusioned. He's disillusioned. And there's a difference. Okay, how two AFC West cities are playing for titles, the Denver Nuggets and the Vegas Golden Knights. Well, good for them. Different sports. I actually I'm on record. I thought that the Nuggets were going to win. I was also on record that I thought that the Panthers from Miami were going to win, but right now they're down 0-1. Chris Waltz, good to see you. Come on over to YouTube, please. Chris. But John, there's a difference. John, please. There's a difference between haters and pessimists or gloom and doomers, right? You can still be a fan, but you can still be upset about what's going on with the team, about how you see it, how you portend. You know, haters say the Raiders are the worst. I never liked them. I've never liked them. I've hated the Raiders. Those are haters. Then there are people that are like gloom and doomers, right? And there are Kardashians and Karbashians, right? And it's like, and I don't really hate saying a name because the guy is not our quarterback anymore. He's on the Saints. He's on the Saints, right? I don't care. He's probably going to have a good year. He's with a decent team that has really no competition in their division, right? So they should take the NFC South. That's what I'm saying. Jimmy G's wait and see, nothing we can do. Exactly, Matt. You're not okay, wait a second. You're not paying Jimmy G a ton of money. Thank you. And you also made the things in his contract when you knew that he was a injury issue. You made sure that the money was pushed aside to make sure that he could play. Garoppolo, if he's playing, was the best quarterback available. Jacoby Brissett had been signed by the Redskins or the Commanders or whatever the hell their team. Remember, the Commanders haven't even gone through protocol to have their name identified because there's some BS in that part. I might have to go back to the Washington football team. Dark, the Kardashians should move their fandom to the Saints to let the door hit you on the way out. To a point, but here's what it is. And again, God, we're taking a lot of time with this. So I'm going to try to do this. It's better to win that way. We can get a better free agent quarterback instead of getting a Kale Williams, which would be a rebuild in essence. We built through people that were here. Jimmy G not passing the physical is not good. We got it. Thanks, Chris. That is, like I said, I love this shirt. These whiners are the same people that never complained when Gruden was at the helm. Yeah, that's true. They forget. They do forget. They do forget. Mike Sarah's on record. O'Connell starting in week 1. And why not? If Garoppolo isn't ready, the best quarterback on our team, and there's still time yet to find out who's going to be the starting quarterback. Right now, we got Jimmy G that might not take a snap for a while, but we got Garbers and we got O'Connell, and they're showing well in OTAs. Granted, it's like, the underwear Olympics, but we'll see what happens. Ed, good to see you, brother. Love my boy, Ed Winchell. Ed, hopefully we'll have some good news soon. More false narratives in the chat. I'm optimistic. I'm analytical. I can't say what's going to happen because I don't know. I can make a guess, but that's all it is a guess. Permission to come aboard, granted, Anna. There's my other lady. So we got China in the house. We got Anna. We need a few more. We need four more. We need 4 more gals in here. But a few more is always better. Jimmy Farrell's here too. Okay, Matt, here's the thing. Jarrett Stidham was looked at as the backup. Always as the backup. Right? Is that Matt Ryan? Is it Matt Ryan has retired? I see Ryan. See, I'm looking at Ed Winchell's comment on YouTube before it comes over to StreamYard. If Ryan's retired, that's one less person available. Mark Davis should have never hired Ziegler and McDaniels. That's your opinion. We could have gotten Sean Payton and kept Rich Bisaccia. No on Rich Bisaccia. Sean Payton, that was his decision. Josh McDaniels, for 100,000% fact, is not a winning head coach right now. Right now, you are correct. But you're not going to say that when he stops being a coach, he won't have a winning record. Remember, winning record is 1 game over 500. The doom and gloomers say, oh, the sky is falling and we'll never get better. Never. Stop it. You don't know. What's Sean got to say? Just so Rudy knows, I'm gonna go into work tomorrow hungover and still do my job. just say, hey, John, you do that. Just be careful, because you said you work like construction, right? Be careful. Hungover is not drunk on the job, though, and there is a difference. Hungover is hungover. It's not drunk on the job. And Ed still is of the mind. I think this is correct. Of a mind that Jimmy. It is the 4th of June. It's the 4th of June. We'll see what happens. The ugly truth is we don't have a legitimate quarterback. Again, in your opinion. I love how the people say, well, my opinion is solid. It's based on facts. It's still an opinion. The only opinions that matter are of the head coach and the GM that pay the money. Why? Because they're in charge. You can't do a damn thing about it. That's why people say, well, what do you feel about Brady taking a vested interest? Let me get my tongue straight. Does Carol Davis, not even Mark, does Carol Davis go through her assistant and say, get Captain Jack on the line because I want to hear his opinion on this. I'm only going to take his opinion. It's the decision of the management. Carol Davis, who gives Mark Davis the calls, they make the call. Mark hires Ziegler and McDaniels. It's still, the book is open. It's not at the chapter that says epilogue and finished. We got to see what's going to go on. And I agree with that. Jimmy G is a legitimate quarterback. He's just injured right now. And yeah, just because you're good at Madden doesn't make you a real legitimate GM. And again, this is your opinion. If O'Connell is starting, we're tanking it. What was our record? And I'm asking because I really don't remember. What was our record with Derek Carr his first year? Because he was a second-round pick, and he was a legitimate quarterback as a second-round pick. And he started because he played better than Matt Shaw. He played better in Gruden's system, which is difficult. Gruden's system is difficult. McDaniel's system is difficult. Carr started because he was the best quarterback that we had, okay? So if Chase Garbers or Aiden O'Connell or whatever, Aiden, right? If he's starting, it's because they're the best quarterback in the system that's not injured. Matt says rumors about bringing in Matt Ryan, but Ed Winchell just said that he's retired. I don't know. Ryan is retired, so there you go. Yeah, and early, fourth round. And they got him at a good spot. I honestly believe that was a great spot for him. Rudy says he wants Ice Cube as the owner. No, let me be the owner of the Raiders. Let Ice Cube front me the money. I'll be the owner, and I'll make all the right decisions. Holly, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Salute to you. Good to see Holly. Bring Cush in here, too. Jerison was not good. He only played 2 games, but he was the backup. He's the guys are, my goodness. My goodness. Backup. They can always unretire. That's true. Brady proves that. That's true. Totally agree with what probably Rudy, Hot Neil. Okay. Dark, my part. Yeah, so Dark's in here. Stidham went with the money to Denver. I would too. They paid him more money than what we were going to pay him. And by the way, Jarrett Stidham might be starting in Denver. Raider C-Dub. Hey, there you go. Good to see you, brother. Let Raider Nation relish in the victory of a Lombardi trophy. C-Dub, I hope and pray before they put me in a box and they lower me 6 feet that I see another Lombardi. That's what I want. By the way, for those that are keeping score, Denver's up 61-59 after a very long 3-pointer. I do got the game on, so there's sports here. Why not keep Rich Versace, who was strongly responsible for Raiders being 10-7? Untrue again. The players were responsible. They played and won the close games. Rich Versace is not an X's and O's guy. He's not. He's not. If he was an X's and O's guy, he would have been a head coach after he left the Raiders. Right? There's a reason why he's not a head coach. And I like Rich Versace. I don't hate on him, but he's a special teams coach. He's not an X's and O's guy. Okay. Welcome to my world of keeping everybody try to be sane. Tom Brady's Raider Nation. He's not nothing to do. He's a money guy. Come on. Okay, Hot Neil, take care of yourself. Matt Marinovich, thank you. Jimmy G knows the system and he has been to a Super Bowl. That is facts. Whether he plays for us remains to be seen. Nope. Customers are not always right, Rudy, and I'll be damn well say that. I remember when I was working retail, and they say the customer is always right. That's a crock of crap. And I would be on the verge. I would never do anything to get myself fired, but I would be on the verge of the conniption because they think they're right and they're not right. The customers can pay or not pay. Doesn't make them right. Mark Davis is the son of the owner, Carol Davis. He's not always right either. You can pay through your money. That's how you say what you're going to support. Who else is here? It's no wonder why Rudy got kicked out of Death Star. Well, that's true. If besides the soda ring, why is Eddie higher? Thank you, Ed. Thank you. Rich isn't head. Thank you. Holly knows as well. I never got kicked. Better show receipts from these. Okay, whatever. I left the Death Star report and I'm still alive. Okay, whatever. I don't care. 3-13 would beat the Chiefs. No. Raiders 3-13. Oh, okay. That I asked for. They were 3-13. I was at Carr's very first game. I was too. That was the Texans game, right? That was the Texans game in Oakland in 2016, right? No, not 2014. 2014. Because I just gotten off of Gitmo and I was a season ticket holder. And it was the Texans, and we lost to the Texans because what was it? Did Watt throw a touchdown or run for a touchdown? I think TJ Watt either ran or threw for a touchdown. Raiders were 3-13. Okay. But it was, the Texans. I was at that game too. Ken, good to see you, brother. AKA. You know what your AKA is. Do you know how when receiving touchdowns, Josh Jacobs has his 4 seasons with the Raiders receiving touchdowns? No. I don't. Dustin made it public and he made it abundantly clear, okay, whatever. I don't care what happens on other channels. A year ago, I complained about McDowell. No one had a problem with him until he benched Carr. I still don't have a problem with him until he loses repeatedly. Bill Belichick's not an X's and O guys. Like, Rudy, come on, man. Come on. Now you're talking out of your ass. Hang on, Captain. You can't say that Sidham may start for Denver was not a valuable. I didn't say he was a valuable. I know he would have been a valuable backup. I don't know, Mac. That's not what I said. The Raiders envision him as a backup. That's what they envision him. The reason why he might be a starter in Denver is because if he can do more with the offense that Sean Payton has than Russell Wilson, he might start over Wilson. That's what I'm saying. It depends on Jarrett Stidham and Russell Wilson. Good to see you, Silent. Okay. Customers. Nutty Raider Nate, thank you for being here as well. Someone died under Versace's watch. Okay. I'm not losing. We aren't going to play us with this week roster. We need a tank. Okay. Turkey's in the house. Good to see you. The Texans game. Yeah, I was right. I was at that game too. Carr first game versus the Jets in New York, but I think you were there too. Yeah, I was at that game too. I was at that game. For Mike Florio and Chris Sims, Matt Ryan is making abundantly clear he hasn't retired. So there you go. Thank you, China, for pulling stuff. And by the way, you see the little Superman logo here? That means that China, look at it. Look at the arms on her. My goodness. She got sexy and built. My goodness. I know she's blushing. Come on into the show later. You sound like, I'm not even going to read that. Belichick was a special teams coach, and then became a linebacker, then became a defensive coordinator, then you became a head coach. But still, that's X's and O's, dude. What I mean is you can do things on one half of the field. An X's and O's guy is either an offensive guy or a defensive guy. That's what I meant. If you bring nothing to the equation other than, now how many special teams plays are there in a game? What, 14 maybe? talking punts and kicks, kickoff return and kickoff. 14. 14 maybe, right? And that's all you bring to the equation. That's what I'm saying. If Belichick is the defensive coordinator, he's got X's and O's. He knows how to defense against the X's, or sorry, the O's, because you're the X's is the defense. So you are an X's and O guy. Salute, 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 salute. Jack Doherty's not an X's and O's guys either. He was a great heads about the well, that's it. I'm not gonna argue this shit anymore. And I just said shit. Hollywood, thank you for coming in here. Yeah, Rudy knows his X's and O's. It wasn't TJ, it was J. Whatever, TJ. I didn't say whether that's a G. TJ, I meant J. Matt Ryan is signed a contract to be a game analyst on CBS. Good for him. Okay. Well, we're 33 minutes in, so I'm gonna open it up. Salute. That's only the tip of the iceberg. He's toxic and got kicked out of 2 Raider streams already. Well, until such a time, and Rudy, it's up to you. Because I've kicked out what was it? Casey Hefe. Not Raider Hefe. Casey, I kicked Hefe out. Right? I've kicked Gabe out before, brought him back. But as long as be respectful. Be respectful. That's all I ask. And don't disrespect me. I will kick your ass out. And Anna Diaz, this is the truth. Yankees up for it. Well, okay, so nice. And at least Jimmy Farrow and Ed Winchell are doing Dodgers, Yankees back and forth. And Anna Diaz, interesting season. That is both opinion and a likely fact. Everyone's going to be watching closely. That is a fact, although it's our opinion. And Holly, with the shot across the bow, that is the truth. There's a difference between opinions and facts. And Hollywood chimes in with Go Dodge. Okay, hey, that's our intro. That's our intro. So if you'd like to come into the show, and thank you for doing it, please. Again, if you're just watching us for the first time, it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to get into a show because I moderate, I talk, and then I open it up. And I like I said, the show is a lot better when there are people popping in. You don't have to be on camera. But you do need to have your audio good. Rudy, Leon, or John, I should say, I don't care. I don't care if he was kicked out. I don't care. As long as he doesn't disrespect me and try not to disrespect others. Thank you. I got you, John. I got you. You're good, brother. This goes south with Jimmy G and does not start for the Raiders. McDaniels will be on the hot seat if he is not already. I agree with that. Worst game, but best fan. Hey, I tell you what, Mac, we had a ball, didn't we? And Mac, I'm telling you, if the Raiders go, technically, I want the Raiders to go to Germany next year. But I'm going to come visit people in Scotland. Can I hang with you in Scotland? Buck Dog's over there. Thank you. Buck Dog, we can talk about the Browns too. Browns are important. Did the Browns sign what is it? The receiver yet? Did they sign the receiver yet? If the Raiders go to Europe next year, I'm going to hang out with oh my goodness. My buddy in Sweden. I can't remember his name. Oh, good. I'll hang with my buddy in Sweden, and I'll hang out with McBud. We'll go pub doing. And I don't drink a lot, but but the beer in England is a lot better as long as it's cold. Good cold beer. Willie Wayne, thank you as well. All right, the link is up. Pardon me. Link is up. Let me show it. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. Pop in. I said you don't have to be on camera, but please make sure you're always good. John, you can come in as well. Talking about constantly up the Raiders is like talking about my family every new season. So the new season, we have enough haters. Now we got them within. Yeah, but that's true with real. That's true really with anybody. Okay. And I put him on the spot. So, okay. Remember Rudy. Yeah, I like his title. Okay. It says what? Raider Nation forever, right? Is that right? Okay, yeah, he's nodding. So again, Rudy is pessimistic. He's pessimistic. Okay? But don't be, just because you say it's a fact, that's your opinion. Seriously. It's not a fact until it actually happens. It's a fact. See, these are different. It's a fact.
Hey, what's up?
It's a fact I'm 58. It's my opinion that I'm an old goat. You see the difference? There's facts and opinion. How you doing tonight, there, brother? What's going on with you?
I'm doing pretty good. I helped a friend with his cousin to move her, getting her stuff moved out and stuff, doing some moving, helping him out. And Here's the thing, though, about me. This is the thing. People can disagree, and I'm not going to agree with everybody. Right. We're all going to have disagreements. We just got to stop this thing because there's some people that know football and some people who don't. And I have difference of opinion. There's people that know football that I disagree with, and that doesn't mean that I don't know football. It just means that we have a disagreement, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do agree with you what you're saying about our disagreements and agreements, but people saying like stuff like about me saying that I got kicked off the Death Star port, that didn't happen. But
Rudy, don't even bring it up. I'm gonna try to ignore that's buzz in the background. Okay. John says one thing, you say another thing. I don't know. I really don't, and I don't care.
Okay.
The fact is that you're here, and as long as I would ask that you don't disrespect John, and I would I would ask John to not to disrespect you. Yeah. I can't make it happen. Yeah. I would just say I would ask not to. Like I've asked Jack Kenna to stop calling McDaniel McShitnuts. I said it because that's what he called.
I understand.
I don't like that. I don't. It does. Yeah. There's nothing positive about that. It just,
Yeah.
It is.
I'm sorry. It sounded funny, but I understand it's wrong. But it sounded funny, but it was wrong though at the same time. Yeah. But this is what I'm going to say. I looked at the Raiders, and I think Bill Bisaccio. I know people could say, he kept the team going, but it was Gruden's system. I thought, hey, if he failed on him, let him fail, and then get Sean Payton next year, because there would have been nothing wrong with that. The Raiders went to the playoffs. They didn't win it, but they went. Go with it. If it works a little bit, it was like we're right here. And we're going up and up and up and up and up a little bit. And then all of a sudden the emails and all the other crap about Gruden, we all know this. And then we go with Josh McDaniels, and he changes. It looked like he had a great roster last year. The roster looks good. I will admit. I thought it was good, and I started to have faith in Josh McDaniels. Believe it or not, I did have faith in him because you got Devontae Adams, and I thought that's an extra weapon. But things weren't going on, and it goes with the management of the head coach. And when players aren't compatible with other players, that's the head coach's fault. And they could say, "Oh, this person didn't fit my system" or whatever. But to me, Josh McDaniels, as a newbie, he's not really a newbie coach, but as an owner, I would say you've got to work with these guys, got to do your best. And it just seemed like he didn't even try. He just forced his narrative on them. And Derek Carr had some agreements. Whether you agree with Derek Carr or not, they did not agree with each other, and that was a problem. And then what happened was, Derek Carr got benched after the Pittsburgh game loss, and and then we lost 2 more games after that. But we
were competitive in the Niner game. We were very competitive in the Niner game.
Yeah, but it
had that interception, because I remember I was at these games. Had Stidham's not had his arm hit on that one play, right? The Raiders presumably could have won that game, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Adams streaking. I think it was Adams streaking down the left sideline, and Stidham's arm got hit. It popped up. It was intercepted, right?
Yeah.
So if Adams gets to the ball, that's a win.
Yeah, but there's always that. But those things happen. The thing is, though, like Derek Carr is a comeback quarterback. That's his history. That's the history. But the problem is the defense has been the problem. That's been the number one problem. It's been that secondary. We've had injuries with Rockison. Rockison was the better corner, I believe, between him and Nate Hobbs. And then this clone of Damian Arnett, Anthony Averett, just didn't play. He had a little thumb injury, and it made me mad that he didn't play just because of a little thumb injury. That most players. He came from the Ravens. You think he'd be like really tough guy and stuff, and it made me mad that he didn't play and everything. And I thought our linebacker core was pretty good, even despite the injuries on the linebacker core and everything. But the problem, and people could say, Derek Carr isn't our quarterback. It's not the quarterback. It's the team. It's the whole team. It's not the quarterback. It's the team that wins games. Quarterback is just the bigger piece. He's a bigger piece, but he doesn't play defense or anything. It's the head coach that's responsible for the team winning and losing. That's fact.
Okay, that's true. And let me address some things. Hopefully Holly can come in. John was saying I can't sign in. John, are you on Apple? Okay, if you're on Apple, usually it's a matter of hitting the link and then go in on Chrome. If you come in on Chrome, it's easiest. If you coming in on Chrome, you hit the link, and don't worry, this ain't counting as time for you there, Rudy, because I kind of keep in my mind what the thing is. Go to Chrome, sign in on Chrome. When you hit the link, okay, then give the Chrome permission for your for your camera and your audio, your microphone, and it should be good to go. Okay. And getting back to, it is a team thing. It is and the team, by the way, in my opinion, Rudy, that's GM down, because the GM makes the decisions on the players with the head coach. Sometimes it's inverted where it shouldn't be, but remember, Gruden was the coach and he had more decision-making ability than the schmuck from ESPN, Mike What's-His-Nose, right?
Oh,
but
Mayock,
thank you. But the way I see the structure here with the Raiders, I like the fact that Ziegler has oversight. I like the fact that the gentleman that was that is the assistant GM that's out of Chicago, and again, his name escapes me right now. I like the fact that good, John, stay there, John. I'm glad you got him, John. But the fact is that Ziegler gets the players that McDaniels envisions coming in, okay? And he has oversight. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again and again and again. You can't bitch about McDaniels until you at least see a fruition of the process. and I hate using the trust the process. That's Philly, okay? That's Philly. But I'm letting you know, I'm giving him time to implement his system through. Because in Denver, when he got canned early, he got canned 1.5 seasons in, right? But the core of the team that went to the Super Bowl afterwards was what he brought in to Denver. Whether it was through his guidance or through his talking to the GM in Denver, whoever that was, if it was like Elway or one of Elway's flunkies,
He was the
but
president.
they got that core and he went to the Super Bowl. So he was instrumental in that. Was it his deep offense? No. Was it somebody else's? Yes. But the players, a lot of them were his. And why do I know that? Because I actually believe Richie Richey, who is the Broncos guy, and he says, this is what McDaniels did. So give him some time. Anna Diaz doesn't like McDaniels, but she's not all pissy about it. I'm just saying, guys can be pissy about it, but you know what? Rudy, let me ask a question. Do you right now, can you say, call Mark and say, you know what, I want McDaniels gone? Is he going to listen to you?
Of course he's not. He's not going to listen to anybody but himself. That's it,
Okay.
But like I said, though, there are things I agree to disagree. I don't like how it's going. We're going backwards, and when you go that stage,
in your opinion,
but you're changing. When you're changing,
we're going backwards.
But you have to go backwards sometimes. You do. If you're taking away what was good, even though it didn't fit Josh McDaniels' system, and you take it out, you're getting rid of that West Coast offense and replacing it with a Patriot-like system. You have to go back.
The name of the offense is the Earhart. Let me get it right. It was Ron Earhart and the other guy that was the coach at Alabama under Chuck. It was the Earhart. Oh my God, the other old Bama coach. It was that offense. And by the way, it's an offshoot of the same offense that Carr ran in 2016 under Musgraves. It's almost the same, right? Yeah. But the offense works with the right implementation. And if Derek Carr was not working the offense to the specifications of what McDaniels wanted, if you're the boss and I'm telling you to do something, and I don't think, as the boss, if I don't think you're not doing it, I'm going to get rid of you. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Yeah. I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's the way it is.
In my strong opinion, I don't think he should have that clout, though.
Ray Perkins, Ron Earhart, Ray Perkins. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. I knew what it was. Just couldn't get it.
Oh, Earhart Perkins. Yeah. The thing is, though, like, let's just say this: when the Packers, when they had McCarthy, and he was a winner, he took the Packers to the Super Bowl. But when it came to Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy, guess who was gone? It was McCarthy, because they know that Aaron Rodgers has the ability and everything, but McCarthy's system wasn't working anymore. They got rid of him, and eventually, when Aaron Rodgers was deteriorating and everything, not doing as well, then they got rid of him. To me, Derek Carr still was doing good. He actually improved in touchdowns and red zone. The only thing he didn't do too well was the passing yards, but the Raiders were ranked 11th in the NFL in passing. That's a winning system. I don't care what anybody says.
But the Raiders were one of the last in red zone efficiency, and who is that on?
That's the coach, 100%.
How many snaps did McDaniels have on the field last year?
It depends on what you set up. Actually, he improved the red zone a little bit. He did improve it. I didn't say that.
I don't agree with that, Rudy. I mean,
I agree. He improved it better than Gruden. He did improve it. He improved it.
Give me stats to prove it. And the other thing about stats is that
it's still not good enough, though. I agree with that.
Twist stats the way you want. Okay. And I tell you what, give me a parting shot, please. And I'm going to get to John and I'm going to get to Gabe because they're backstage.
Okay.
Give me a parting shot. Oh, like I said, you're a Raider fan. I want everybody to know that you're a Raider fan. But like they said, be a Raider fan. Just you're pessimistic right now. I get it. But if you're only a Carr fan, and I will agree with this, if you are tried and true to the blood that Derek Carr is the I'm going to sound very sacrilegious, and I apologize to all of my religious folks out there. If you think that Derek Carr is the second coming of Christ and you're going to follow him, right? And again, I say it facetiously, kind of. If you think that he's the second coming, then follow him to New Orleans.
Like I said, I like him as a player. That doesn't mean that don't make my saying, should go to the Saints. Like I said, I'm a Raider fan, number one. Derek Carr will be one of my favorite players, just like Charles Woodson and Tim Brown. They went to other teams. Then they came back. Nnamdi Asomugha, he was still one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
He came back and retired as a Raider and everything. And even if Derek Carr doesn't retire as a Raider, he's still one of my favorite players. Marcus Allen, same way, one of my favorite players. But to say that, oh, he's no longer to go to the Chiefs or whatever, that's all a boulder dash or something. But like I said, though, Derek Carr, if he does great and I see him going against the Chiefs, yeah, I'm going to root for the Saints to beat the Chiefs because I don't want them to win another Super Bowl.
I want anybody to beat the Chiefs.
I'm sure everybody wants the Saints to beat the Chiefs, though, and that could be it. You never know. We just never know. It's tricky with the how the NFL works, but here's the thing. I look at it. I'll tell you one thing.
Land the plane, Rudy. Land the plane.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs or Buffalo. One of them is going to get a number 1 seed in the AFC West, and then the Jaguars, I think they're going to go number 4 seed, and I think Cincinnati is going to go number 3. And then I think it's a toss-up between Philly and the Saints in the NFC part, for number 1.
Put your prognostications, if you can, the next time you come, because I know you'll be back, and I appreciate you being back. Put your prognostications on a sheet of how you see the seedings for the NFC and AFC will be, but give it some time. I want it right before the season because a lot can happen. A lot can happen between now and the
injuries and everything can change everything. Yeah. But I could see it could be a possibility that we could see the Chiefs and the Eagles be in the Super Bowl again, or it could be the Chiefs and the Saints. Those are the teams. It could be, but
if
depends.
Patrick Mahomes gets injured and we get every call in the book, which we won't, but let's say that remember that guy on Last Boy Scout who had the gun and he had and he shot the players.
Bruce Willis.
The field. Maybe we can win like that. Not that I think it's going to happen, but that's it.
Yeah,
but
I think Rudy, I'm
going to let other folks on, but thanks for coming
in,
man.
It's no problem, guys. It's no problem.
Be well, partner. You take care.
All right, you too.
That's Rudy. All right, that's Rudy. John. Now, as I was saying, and John, welcome to the show. It'll be so nice to see you. This is John, the long-awaited appearance of John Leon. John, I don't think you've been on before, have you?
No.
Okay, well, welcome to the show. It's good to see people on here.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the show, John. That was, and like I said, I'm old. That's a fact. Okay, it's also an opinion. But in the 70s, they used to have point counterpoint on 60 Minutes, right? Before a lot of y'all were born. And it was Jane Kilpatrick or Shane Kilpatrick with the chick against another guy. And they'd go point counterpoint. And they did it on Saturday Night Live with Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin. So we had point. Now we have counterpoint. John, nicely, without blasting Rudy out of the water, if you can. Because, again, I'm not saying you got to like the person. Just be civil and state your opinion. Again, welcome to the show, partner. Good to see you.
Thank you for inviting me. But, yes, with Rudy, he's a Carr fan. He blocked me our report for talking crap about. I know it don't matter, but he's denying it. He's a true Carr fan. I was talking crap about the Saints and Carr, and I got blocked. So, and I got North Cal Raider and all them to back me on that. But anyways, besides the point, I just hate people that hate on the Raiders. What's the point of being a fan if you're not going to cheer for them every year? It's like, why are you even a fan if you're not going to cheer for them? If you're just going to straight up talk shit about, call them third grade education names, McDummy, McDick Schick, or whatever they call them. You know, I mean, what's the point of that?
And that's why I told Jack Kenna, not on my show.
Yeah, exactly.
Not on my show.
They wouldn't call.
You don't have to. Right. You don't have to be a robot that worships at the pen, whatever the hell that you go worship at. For whatever. Gabe, I don't know what your I'm not touching anything, Gabe. Gabe's backstage in a minute, and he keeps bouncing it out. I said you don't have to worship on everything that the Raiders will be, because my boy Hotneil, we have a bet every year, and I told Hotneil, I said, if the Raiders are undefeated, I'm going to give him a Marcus Allen helmet. Why? Because I know I'm never going to get rid of that helmet that way. It's going to go to when I get my subscribers up to like 5K or whatever. But we have a bet because Hot Neil thinks we're going to go undefeated, and I'm like, I know better. So I said, okay, Hot Neil, if we go undefeated to the Super Bowl, he gets the helmet. I'd love to give him that helmet. Ain't going to happen though.
Yeah.
But and you don't have to worship it at the pen, whatever the hell the pen thing. Wait, there's something that's called a pen, whatever it is, of Raiderdom. Just be, have evaluations and have opinions, but don't be nasty about it. I'm sorry.
We hating us. Broncos hating us. We got the Chargers hating. We got the whole NFL hating us. And then now we move to Vegas. We got their own fans hating on us now. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on now. When in Vegas, not Vegas, LA, Oakland, that shit wouldn't happen. I mean, I was a Raider fan since LA, you know what I mean? I went to the Freeway Bowl with Rams and Raiders, you know what I mean? But that shit, we cheer for them no matter what. I watch every game till the last game, even if we're losing, just to see what's next year is gonna look like. Now you need to stay here, put people down and talk shit about players and this and that. That's not right. You wouldn't say that to their face. You wouldn't call McDaniels McDick shit or whatever to his face. I guarantee you half of these fans wouldn't. You know what I mean? But some of them would. You know what I mean? Like Rudy. That guy just is something to complain about. To me, that's what I see. You know what I mean? Every year I'm looking for something to cheer about. You know what I mean? It's just, why be a fan? Why am I going to pay $200 for the YouTube TV? Why am I going to pay whatever it costs to go see a game if I'm just going to sit there and be negative? You know what I mean? It's no point. Why even be a fan? That's my message to it. Why even be a fan? You know what I mean? Why not cheer for another team?
And Cool Kev has a good outcome. He says that you and Rudy should wrestle in Nutella and squash the beef. That's funny. And it doesn't even need to be Nutella. It can be a KY
cool,
or whatever.
Always has jokes.
Cool Kev does have jokes.
All good for that. It's all good, but it's just, don't be negative on my team, That's all I'm saying. And constantly be negative. You know what I mean? There's some positive to this year. You can't just always say that everything's negative. There's always something positive. And
see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Now, I'm going to let you know, John, I can be negative when it's due. When it's due. And normally those are shows I can't have on the broadcast because I will have a special show where I can swear. And it's funny, the shows that I swear I get more views on. But because I'm going off and I'm saying F like every 5 words. But it's because it pisses me off to that effect. It does. And that's why another thing as well, when I have my shows after the game, it takes me a while to get home. Mm-hmm. And that's my time to try to
let it out.
Calm down. Because if I had a show immediately after a game, I wouldn't be able to broadcast it on the network that I do. Okay. They said, Captain, don't swear. I don't. Although I said the S word once or twice, but I asked, I'm sorry, mea culpa. I told my guests, try not to drop F-bombs and try not to swear anyway. This way I can tell my boss, I put it out, please don't swear. Okay. But here's the thing. When you got Jack Kenna calling him McNuts, no. Why be that negative about the coach? And Black Thanos is going to be coming up. And Black Thanos said last year, this guy is a rube. This guy is a mistake. This guy, yada, yada, yada. And he said that last year. And I told the same thing. I said, I'm giving him 3 years. Now, if I don't get 3 years because Mark Davis decides to pull the plug, that's not on me. Yeah. But I'm giving him 3 years. And then we'll see. If the team doesn't show improvement after those 3 years, then it's a decision whether I want to keep him or not. And by the way, they said we could have had Peyton. No, I disagree. Peyton could have been the coach, but I think that Peyton was never going to be the coach of this team because of what Bill Parcells told him years ago. He said, don't go to the Raiders because of the organization. And that was when Al was still running the club. Okay. He said no, and it kept in his mind. And he very respects Bill Parcells. And that's one of the reasons why Sean Payton was never a viable candidate to be our coach, because of A, money, B, when we would wanted to get him, right, it would have cost the Raiders a lot of collateral that the Broncos gave to the Saints for that contract. So they bought in on Russell Wilson. It cost them a lot. And they bought in on Sean Payton, cost them a lot. And we'll see if it pays dividends. If it pays dividends, great. But I don't think that the Raiders have had the collateral to do it. And that's my opinion based upon evidence. I'm going to say facts based upon evidence. I don't think he was ever a viable candidate. But I'm going to roll with McDaniels until he's such a schmuck that I said get rid of his ass.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
To Rudy, OG, Jack, they all say once a Raider, always a Raider. Okay,
that's not true either.
That's not why. Well, that only applies to Carr, but yet they shit on our own regime right now. You know what I mean? Our own coaching staff. They talk crap about them, but they say once a Raider, always a Raider. But that don't apply to our current staff. At least give them the chance to do something. You know what I mean? That's all I guess.
I agree. Gruden had so many years until he was traded to the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
McDaniels, to me, gets at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, again, my opinion and my hope. It might happen, it might not happen.
I like Ziegler.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I think he's a better judge of talent than Mike Mayock was.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's my point. And I was blocked by Rudy before I go. I was blocked by Rudy for talking crap about the Saints. So,
okay.
All right.
But that's between you two away, right?
Yeah. No, but he's a true Saints fan and Carr fan. So
no. He's a true Derek Carr fan. He's not a Saints fan.
Yeah.
If he was a Saints fan, I don't think he'd be here. Honestly, I know you say it for fun. I get it. I know you say it for fun. He's a Derek Carr fan, and that's fine. But my mind is, you can be a fan of somebody. Like, for example, when Stabler got traded, I was still a Raiders fan, but I was like, man, they traded my boy Kenny Stabler, and they traded Tatum, and they traded Casper, all in the same year.
Yep.
But what did we do? We went and we beat the Oilers that year to go to the Super Bowl and win. Because this is primary, not the players.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
That's all that matters. No matter what we get, we cheer for our team, and that's it. There ain't no point of being a Raider fan unless you're cheering for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, John, I'm so glad you came up, because again, I thought that maybe you were a bot and that you weren't a real. It's like those girls you talk to on Instagram that say, "Oh, you're cute," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, bitch." You know, yeah, okay. How much money do you want? Oh, can you help me with $100 and send it to me? And what was it, like the money that the credit card things? I can't remember.
Yeah.
They want it in like the credit card. It's like look at a Walmart card or an Amazon gift card. Right here, man. You come on. It's like, where are you from? Are you from East Europe? Are you from Africa? Are you from India? Wherever you bite me, okay? I'm glad that you're for real, John. I can say I saw John Leon, man. I saw John Leon, and you are alive and true. And thank you for coming. Come in anytime.
Defend the shield. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
That's all against all the haters. Defend it.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, John, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. I really do. Come in anytime. Now that I know that you're here, I'm going to ask you to come in more often if you can.
I'll try.
All right. You take care, partner.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's John Leon. There's counterpoint. Point, counterpoint. Now, Sharif, I'm going to get to you, but I got to get Gabe in here first before he goes away. Okay. So we're going to have our few minutes with Gabe, our our Giants report from Gabe, the Giants.
Oh, hold on. I have my Fred Belindikoff ready.
Well, I'm ready. I'm timing you, man. In fact, wait. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So Fred Belindikoff, he was drafted in the AFL draft actually before the major, or between the NFC and the AFL, I think. Right? Is that right? Right?
AFL.
All right.
Yeah.
He was drafted to the Raiders in the second round. I don't remember the pick exactly, but it was the second round. He is out at Erie High School in Erie, Pennsylvania. He grew up a Browns fan, actually. Fun fact, if you didn't know that, he grew up watching the Browns because Erie, has a lot of Browns fans in it. He in his senior year in high school, which is or it's not senior year in high school, senior year in college, he led the nation in receiving yards and touchdowns, which is why there's the Fred Belindikoff Receiver Award now, which goes to who leads the nation in receiving yards and touchdowns, best receiver in college football, basically.
Yeah.
And then he would go on to lead the Raiders in receiving for 6 consecutive seasons between 1968, I believe, in 1973. Those 6 years. He's actually not the he is not the leading receiver in history of the Raiders, though he's second for history receiving yards with the Raiders over their career with the Raiders.
Who's the leader?
I don't
Get
know.
back to me on that.
All right. That'll be next time. He was a 2-time AFL All-Star. He was also a 4-time Pro Bowler. And he, after his career was over with the Raiders, he got cut eventually, and they went on to actually get into coaching. And he had like a bunch of assistant coaching jobs with a lot of teams, but then he ended up actually joining the Raiders as the receivers coach from 1890 to 2006-ish, I think.
Whoa, did you just say 1890?
No, 1990.
Okay, man. No, 1990, I believe. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, 1990 to 2006-ish. He was the receivers coach, and that's I think all I got for you.
Okay, well, here's what I was getting at. That's stats. That's stuff you can get out of Wikipedia. Here's what I wanted. Okay, and I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna serve it up. Right. The reason why Fred Belindikoff and his cadre of the 60s was like really cool is that now you've seen them. Have you seen the movie North Dallas 40, Gabe?
No.
Okay. North Dallas 40 is based on the Raiders. It's a team in Dallas they're the Dallas Bulls, right? And that book is based upon the Raiders. Seriously. And, so the players that are, and by the way, John Matuszak is in that movie. He plays an offensive lineman, which is weird because, Matuszak played defense. But, excuse me, that showed the fact that Nick Nolte, by the way, portrayed the wide receiver that was based upon Freddie Belindikoff, right? And he smoked a lot. And he was doing blow. I don't think Fred did blow, but he did smoke a lot, right?
Right.
I don't think Fred was into marijuana, but it maybe, I don't know, but he did smoke a lot. And so you have Nick Nolte, and Fred Belindikoff smokes like a chimney. Now I don't know to this day, but I know that he does smoke a lot, or he did in the past. I don't know if his wife made him kick the habit or not. For those, I've seen Fred a lot, but I don't know. But they would sit on the sidelines on their helmets smoking cigarettes. Seriously, smoking cigarettes. Wow. Okay, and here's the other thing about it. Did you see that? Did you get the information about Stickum?
No.
Okay, Fred Belindikoff had Stickum all over his body. On his arms, right? And when Stickum wasn't outlawed, and it wasn't Belindikoff that he outlawed it for. It was actually another Raider, which was Lester Hayes. The funny thing is that Fred Biletnikoff didn't need Stickum because he would catch everything with his hands. And, he was fantastic at being a hands-on receiver that could catch. The Stickum was all up here. It was all for his mental, I got to wear a jock strap a certain way, or I got to have like my old high school undershirt underneath my pad. The stuff that you have, that superstition, right? He would stick them on all over his arms, right? But he didn't need it. He would catch the ball without the use of Stickum. But eventually, the NFL outlawed Stickum because Lester Hayes put so much on, it got ridiculous. And so they outlawed Stickum in the NFL because of Biletnikoff and Lester Hayes, ultimately because of Lester Hayes, and he used way too much Stickum. But the thing is, see, Willie Wayne says, Mahomes says it's lucky red chonies. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds good. But anyway, Fred Biletnikoff is a character. And like I said, he's just down to earth, and he's not a fast runner, but he was elusive in his routes. He was very precise in his route running. And if the Raiders needed 12 yards, Fred Biletnikoff would get you 13. If the Raiders needed 24, he'd get you 25. He was the elusive guy, whereas Cliff Branch would run down the field and burn. And between the two of them, they were one of the best receiving combos in pro football history. And now both of them are in the Hall of Fame, although Cliff Branch wrongly, and I will say this, wrongly was brought into the Hall of Fame after he passed. That was a travesty. It's a travesty. But that's what I'm saying. There are fun things. There are more Raider rules in the NFL, rules based upon stuff for the Raiders than there are for any other team out there. They're Raider rules. And that's the way it is. But I thank you, and you got support from here as well. Thank you for doing your research on that, because I appreciate that.
Yep. All right. Now to my Giants.
Now your Giants. Go ahead. Now we get into the stuff you want to talk about.
So I think I'm pretty happy for Daniel Jones. He seems like, a lot less, tense when he like talks and stuff. Like before he got the contract, he seemed, very uptight. But he seems a little chillaxed now. I think he a lot of people would always compare him to, he's the next Eli Manning, or that's the expectation he had, because we had Eli for so many years. So he was known as Eli's successor, all his career. But now I think he's really stamped him as he's Daniel Jones, and that's who he is. And I think, now that he's got paid that respect, he's gotten paid like that, that shows that, he is Daniel Jones. He's not just, Eli Manning's successor now. So I think that's going to make this season for Daniel Jones even better. I think by the end of the year, we could potentially do, if he doesn't get injured, see him as maybe one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this league, just because I believe he has a really high ceiling with, the weapons he's brought in, or that the Giants have brought in for him to put around him this offseason. Again, as long as all of his weapons stay healthy. The one thing I didn't like about the weapons the Giants brought him is they're all somewhat injury-prone players. You have Paris Campbell, someone who really actually broke out for the Colts this past year. Was the first year he was fully healthy, and he did pretty well considering the situation with the Colts. So hopefully he can continue on that track. Daniel Jones was fully healthy this past year. Hopefully he'll be fully healthy again. Saquon, fully healthy. Hopefully he'll come back. I'm sure that situation will be resolved. Right now, I will say, is it's not as much about the APY. What I'm hearing is that the issue is what the guaranteed money is. It's not the annual average per year. So that apparently is the holdup there. So you'll hear like the Giants offered Saquon $14 million per year. Well, it's likely that only half of that is really guaranteed.
Right.
Saquon probably wants, I guess Saquon wants more stability in his contract than, the Giants can just cut him after, 2 years or whatever. So that's the problem with Saquon. And mandatory minicamp actually starts pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then training camp's right around the corner, end of July into August. So I'm excited. I'll probably go to a couple Giants training camp practice. Do the Raiders have opening practices? Do they have opening like practices, like for fans?
I do know. I finally have. He said that Rudy needs to eat sneakers so he's not being a Karen. I got to show it, Rudy, because it's a super sticker. And thank you, John, for that. John gets 2 entries into that prize. Whenever I do have time to do the damn, and I will eventually. I'm probably going to have like 3 or 4 wheels by the time I get all of these things done because I don't have time, but I will eventually, whether I like it or not. But John gets 2 entries into the prize wheel for that, so thank you on that. Now here's the thing, and this is the other, and I got to put this up as well. It was about the Giants. Okay, here we go. Matt says this, and thanks again, John, for that super sticker on that. Giants will not make it to the playoffs. They got to get past the Eagles and the Cowboys. Debate. Go.
First of all, they got past. Well, they actually didn't get past last year. I think they lost. What? Can you hear me?
I hear you. You were bouncing back and forth. Yeah. You were going in and out though.
All right. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yep.
All right. So,
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
can hear you. I've got you. So I don't think that's. I think that's personally. I think that's unfair, to be completely honest. Because last year first of all, the NFC is pretty bad. To be completely honest, they're pretty bad. But I think there is a reasonable argument that the Giants have an harder battle this year than they did last year, just because their schedule is, way harder than last year. Last year we played a lot of teams like the Texans, the Jaguars. The Jaguars got good towards the end of the year, but we played a lot of teams that weren't a top tier team. But at the same time, the Giants have improved a lot this offseason. They've added depth on their defensive line. They've added an elite linebacker or not elite, but a way better than what they had last year. They did not have one single linebacker on the roster by week 17 that was on the roster in training camp. So they improved their linebacker core by a far in the offseason. And the defense overall, we lost Julian Love, but we added Tay Banks through the draft, who was, a very good corner at Maryland this past year. And, your prototypical size corner, not a big ball hog, but someone who plays pretty good lockdown man coverage, which is what Wink needs in his system. So I think the Giants will end up making the playoffs just because of this coaching staff has proven that, they accept every challenge their way. The Giants were in a lot of close games last year, and they won most of them. They lost some, but they won most of them. And I think what, us Giants fans have had to experience before last year was a lot of times when the Giants were in those close games, they lost. So I think the Giants will make the playoffs this year. Now, how far they will go, I do not know, but I think it's reasonable to say if injuries don't get in the way, which you can't predict injuries. So, if injuries get in the way, then maybe we have an issue. But I think the Giants honestly are gonna shock a lot of people this year, because I think a lot of people are still writing them off this year, even though last year was kind of a statement to the NFL. But we'll see. But I'm pretty optimistic. I have to see them in person. Yeah. You there? You can go. You're good.
Now, are you good? Now, I know that, and the only reason, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You're good.
Gabe, can you hear me? Okay, good. I know who I'm going with because that was resolved today of who I'm going to be hanging out with when the Giants come to town on November 5th, because that was given me as the game. Are you gonna head out to Vegas for November 5th?
So I can't go to away games because first of all, most of them are a long trip and they involve flying, and not because I can fly. No, don't worry, I can fly, but I have football games on Fridays and Mondays, so like it's hard to make it to a Sunday
Ah,
game and then fly back that night and be ready for a football game on Monday. Um, so that's why I'm probably
I got you. I got you. I just,
only going to be going to home games this year. But I listen, I would love to go to Allegiant Stadium, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all's tickets are like $600, like to get a good seat, and
oh,
like
that's
I'm
it.
not pick.
That's a bargain price.
What?
That's a bargain price. I usually sell mine. I usually sell mine for $1,000 a seat.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is like plus your hotel, plus your plane tickets, plus like it all adds up, and then you're basically thinking like, all right, that's your vacation for the year, like so.
It
That's
is.
why.
Yeah.
That's why I usually I went to Tampa a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I went to
Yeah.
Tampa. Beautiful. Tampa's beautiful. Don't you live there, Captain?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I live outside of Tampa. Tampa's better than a lot of other places. I was just in Orlando this past weekend, which is where I'm kind of from.
Yeah.
So, but I like Orlando a lot better at times. But then I'm like, yeah, Tampa's better. But
Tampa was beautiful. I mean, I love Tampa. That place was
yeah,
beautiful. I was
yeah.
I listen. I'm from Pennsylvania, so anything's pretty a lot better than where I live. But like Tampa was. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I mean, next time the Giants are playing there, I am probably gonna go. It was that good. It
Well,
was.
if you get to Tampa and I'm here, obviously a lot of times I'm on the road. If you get to Tampa, I'm here. I'd like to meet you and your dad. It'd be nice to do that.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was beautiful. I mean, like, first of all, everyone there was very welcome and very nice. Of course, when I went, they were on their little Brady fantasy island, so they were very, hyped up about themselves. And the Giants happened to get smacked, but it was, top tier. You guys got some great steak restaurants I went to.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
airport.
the Burns Steakhouse is the reason why Tampa has a team, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Chris Haley, who's where it says YouTube user. Great to see you. Great to see you, Chris Haley. Went my shipmate from the high school, and he comes in on YouTube a bunch and hangs out with me. And Chris, it was great to see you as well, and blessings to you and your missus. It was great to see you as well. Back to point to about the steakhouse. The reason why Burns Steakhouse was a favorite of Pete Rozelle, and he wanted to go down and eat there more often, which is why it kind of goaded the NFL. Says we need a team here so we can come here more often, and that's not BS. That's the truth. That's the truth.
No, Tampa was. I was like, first of all, we went. Oh, we also went there in like winter for us, so it was like a nice weather down there. I mean, it was beautiful. It was the palm trees. I was like in heaven. It was great. It was great. It was also my birthday present, so it was like I got like it was my birthday celebration and everything. So it was pretty. It was pretty sick actually. I was. Oh, I went to the aquarium too. You guys have like the aquarium.
Great aquarium.
That's like,
yeah. Great aquarium. I haven't actually. You've been to the aquarium. I haven't.
Have you? Are you talking about saying like the Clearwater Aquarium?
No, there's one in Tampa that's right down the street from the base. So if there's one in Clearwater, I'd like to go there too. And I agree with that.
Clearwater. We went to the one in Clearwater because it's there's a movie series called Dolphin Tale.
Oh yeah, you went to the one that what's the dolphin without the tail wasn't in. Yeah, I can't remember. But there's a better one. There's a better one in Tampa as far as the fish species are a lot better.
Oh, I'm sure. We just wanted to go there because we saw it in the movie, and we saw it in the movie. And we wanted to see if it was actually like that in person. It was like pretty similar. Like it's pretty incredibly similar. But no, Tampa. I would love to live in Tampa. Like when I'm older, like I want to go to college in Tampa. It was so nice. Like
UT is very expensive. USF is a good school. Come on down. And
what about UCF? What do you think of UCF?
Well, UCF is from Orlando, and I know a lot about UCF is a hell of a school.
Well, yeah, I know it's in Orlando, but I want to go somewhere warmer for college, so that's why like UCF's like kind of top of my list.
If you want to get into UCF, let me know, because I know some very, very it's the word I'm looking for, influential people for UCF.
Like, UCF's also like no joke. Academically, you need to have a high GPA.
You do.
It's okay. I'm working on it. I've got the right grades right now, so it's good. Right now, it's good. It's good. I'm working on it though.
You work on it. You continue that, and my goodness, so it looks like Miami might actually beat Denver tonight.
Really?
Gabe, I got to get you out because I got to get Black Thanos in here.
Of course.
And thanks for your homework assignments, and I appreciate you bearing with me, man.
I appreciate it, Captain. Have a good night, man.
You got it, brother. Take care. That's Gabe. That's our Giants report. Thanos, I know. I hope he's listening. Are you? Yeah, you there? Are you ready to come in, brother? Do you want to go on camera? Oh, I see the picture. Now I understand. He's got the picture. I'm gonna add Black Thanos to the screen. Black Thanos, Sharif, good to see you, brother. Give me a sound check, brother.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
You are loud and clear. How you doing, brother? Good. It's been a while. What's going on?
Yeah, I hope you could grant your dear friend 5 minutes. Check the clock.
Oh, dude, you got at least 5, if not longer.
Okay, this is just a brief visual tribute to the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour. The one who told us, when he walked down the street, kings and queens step aside. Every lady I meet, they all stay satisfied. I'm talking about the one and only superstar Billy Graham, who made his transition May 17th after a grueling battle with a medley of health issues. But it should also be noted that he was a Oakland Raider for a brief period of time. Number 64, if you remember me posting that picture under his given name, being in camp in 1968. And I asked him directly, as he was a Facebook friend of mine, and his profile still, friends with me. Mm-hmm. Does he have any memories of the snake? And honestly, he couldn't think of any direct interaction with him, but it made sense given that Kenny was a rookie at the time.
Right.
And he was a second rounder as well. So he wasn't the snake yet, because, the snake didn't actually start till years later.
Yeah, so, actually, do you remember who the first rounder was that year when Snake was the second rounder?
Yes, it was the first. Let me get my camera. It's been a while since I've been on camera.
Yeah, see, you're a good-looking bastard, man.
I tried, bro.
That's why I don't let you on camera, because you look so good. You make me look like crap.
Stop it. No, well, actually, Al made history that year by taking the first black quarterback in the first round.
Yes.
With Dickey, in 1968, which
exactly
for the social climate was a very bold statement and thing to do, given what was happening nationally around the country in 68. So I wanted to give our dear departed friend, entertainer, and just a big influence on so many things that some people don't realize. If you love Hulk Hogan, you love Jesse Ventura, Ric Flair, Scott Steiner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Macho Man, then you need to thank superstar Billy Graham.
True.
And they all gave it up to him this past week. But anyway, on to football.
On to football. There we go.
Yes. I've been so immersed in the NBA playoffs with my Lakers finally bowing out after a courageous fight coming from the 13th seed to the 17th seed. Cap, that's all I really expect from any team, is to show me some fight. Be a factor. Don't go down laying, playing dead like Fido. So I was very proud as of the tenacious resolve that the Lakers showed this past year, and a 38-year-old LeBron James in particular. And unfortunately for my Raiders now, it being over 40 years since we've tasted that championship gold and glory, as you were alluding to earlier, I already see the pessimism, the doom and gloom from some, and we know what is directly resulting from, because they're disenchanted because a certain figure is no longer here. And I say to some of those individuals, if you cannot reconcile with the fact that your beloved individual is not here, please buy yourself a Saints jersey. Because one thing I'm dreading about this season is the backseat driver fan who's going to microanalyze everything the Raiders do this year and use a revisionist mindset and tell us in their critical, nagging voice, well, if so-and-so was here, we would have did this, or we would have kept so-and-so. The bottom line is this. Under that former signal caller, we averaged 21.6 points per game for 9 years. The league average is 24. No, the defense is not the 85 Bears or the 77 Cowboys or the 2000 Ravens. Nothing like that. However, if you listen to some of these Raider fans, you would think we were losing games 38-35. I really can't remember the last time we've blown a double-digit lead because we seldom have one.
Well, I remember blowing the Cardinals game in front of me, and I couldn't believe that. That was ridiculous.
That's the season opener or the home opener last year.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was a total collapse, and that Cardinal team, and you felt the momentum changing in that stadium because all of a sudden it seemed like people took off Raider jerseys, and I started seeing Cardinal jerseys. I like, where did these people come from? They felt emboldened, they felt determined, they were unstoppable. But that is the exception. You know, there's not many games like that. Most of the games we lost last year, you know, could have went either way in some respects. And you know, this defense being in the bottom six in payroll, what were you expecting? You know, we knew we needed defense in 2020 when we took all those wide receivers in the draft. We knew we needed defense when you know, we gave Devontae Adams that fat contract and Renfro a contract and Waller a contract. We needed defense then. So to those who kept saying we deserve better when we were 2-7. Yet nobody was complaining. Nobody had an issue until the longest tenured AFC quarterback finally lost his job. And he's the only man, with the exception of Archie Manning. Isn't it ironic that he's in New Orleans, the home of Archie Manning, the only man since Archie Manning to have a job for 9 years with a losing record? That doesn't happen in the modern day business of the NFL.
Yeah.
So if you're going to whine and cry and mope and soak, please go buy a Saints jersey and just moonwalk away from us, and we'll pretend you were never here.
I'm moonwalking right. You can't see me, but I'm moving my feet, man.
Right, you're doing your. Well, you're pretty light on your feet, Cat.
Dude, they got more video because 2 weeks ago they got me video dancing, and I can't remember what that one is. Where it's like 4 to the right, 4 to the left, 2 kicks right, 2 kicks left, and then shuffle. Whatever that one is, I did it 2 weeks ago at my one reunion. I was on the dance floor yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, doing it again. So I'm not bad for an old white dude. I'm telling you, man.
No, you got more moves than a bowl of Jello. That's another superstar program reference. So
right down here too. I got Jello down there too, baby. That's it.
Concerning the Jimmy G thing, I thought we took a quarterback. I wondered why we took a quarterback in the fourth with one of those extra picks we picked up.
Yeah.
Now it makes perfect sense because they knew. We didn't know, but they knew. I mean, Jimmy and Daniel and Josh, they all got each other's cell phone numbers. They know each other on a first name basis.
Yeah.
They knew what the probability of his injury factor was. However, we damn near paying him almost backup money. Hell, he's not far removed from what we were giving Mariota when you break down this contract. So it's not like we stretched or overpaid for someone. And you do get a guy with a proven record of success in this system.
Mm-hmm.
A winner. You could cry about injuries, but you can't fault someone for succumbing to physical injury. But when he's healthy, he wins. Yes. So give me someone who can win healthy as opposed to a dude who's always healthy but don't win. So, that's basically the choice. So with O'Connell being there, who's to say if he happens to get the call, we just have to go all in on this kid. Because who expected Purdy to light the league on fire last year? Nobody. And that was the last kid taken in the NFL draft. So if you're feeling suicidal and depressed and you're having gnashing of teeth and lamentation and moping and stuff, this Raider Nation isn't for you.
Yeah.
Because as you correctly alluded,
you got to have a strong disposition like I do, like Thanos does. And there are others. And that's why I tell people they're not haters. The folks that are bitching, they're bitchers. I'll call them bitchers. There's a difference. The Raider Nation bitchers, they're not haters. They don't hate on our team. They bitch about our team. They bitch about the prospects. And I give to you example one. Black Thanos, the car bitcher. But he was right. He's a Raider fan bitching about Derek Carr, and he was right. 9 years.
But I'm going to quantify that though.
You can quantify it. Go ahead.
I was fully behind Carr. Like I said, I was at his first game against the Jets in 2014. Yep. The team progressed under Del Rio. 2017, there was a obvious decline. Whatever you want to attribute it to, there was. However, Facebook keeps receipts, and I was still trying to stay encouraged. 2018, the collapse in 2019, the collapse in 2020. Yeah. I saw some of these bad habits linger and happen too much. After a while, your patience reach its expiration date. Because most quarterbacks are lucky to get 4 years in this game.
Yeah, and he got double that +1.
Absolutely. So, as of late 2017, I saw the difference. And he just never was the same. What you can say whatever you want as far as the reason, the numbers bear witness. And my issue with McDaniels exactly a year ago at this time, as me and you were talking, was that a mediocre coach and a mediocre quarterback is going to get you mediocre results. You got to have one. You got to have one that's greater than the other.
Yeah.
See, he had Brady for a while, and of course had great success associated with Brady. Him with Derek being problematic, having mental issues where he's very fragile. We've seen evidence of that. McDaniels is very in your face. His personality isn't the type that I think is really conducive to an individual like Carr. I could see it ending badly, and that's what happened. However, the offensive line outperformed all of our expectations, starting with myself. I'm surprised that Carr managed to survive to stand upright, because I thought for sure this O-line was going to be an issue. And yet, under this McDaniel system and the guy he picked up to coach the O-line,
Garnecchia, yep,
they did extremely well. Josh Jacobs had his best year ever. Devontae Adams coming in as a new piece, made the NFL All-Pro team. So other players were able to exceed under the same horrible coach, as people would have you believe. And yes, he's problematic in the past, but him and Carr just was not a match. And after so many coaches, he was the one who had to draw the line in the sand, him and Ziegler, and said, we can't commit to this dude for another $150 million or whatever it is. Yeah. And he's not grasping what we're trying to do. This is a business at the end of the day. 9 years, he has nothing to feel salty or betrayed about. And then the little immaturity tactics of his family, trolling the nation and all of that did him no favor.
Yeah, see, and that's why I said if you're gonna pick your battles, don't be a puss and do it through your brother and your other brother on podcasts. Okay?
Right.
It's wrong.
Right. So, and speaking of where he's at now, Jameis Winston has been very vocal, stating that he believes he is still a starter. And when they have to fly in John Gruden, as if those staff members in New Orleans are like some volunteer workers, to me, that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Either this kid ain't picking up on what the Saints are doing, or Gruden has to, I don't know, comfort him or give him a kick in the ass. But to me, that is a screaming red flag of either some emotional dependence or some stunted growth in his development as a QB, or as I believe he has peaked a while ago, and all he can do now for the rest of his career is pad stats. So as a previous caller said, the Saints being in the Super Bowl, to me, that's, that's pretty delusional. Yes, they had the easiest schedule in the league, believe it or not, but Winston is going to give this kid hell. As far as the OTAs, preseason is concerned, Winston is a popular locker room guy. And professionally, Carr's really done nothing that Winston hasn't done. And this is a kid who's won a national championship and a former #1 overall pick. And no one expected Geno Smith to come back like he did either.
Yeah.
So all it takes is one hit on the wrong day behind an O-line that ranked around 30. I'm talking about the Saints. And who knows? But back to the Raiders, we have our hands full, bro. I hate the way that the schedule panned out, as I told you, off behind the scenes. I don't know if I'm going to Denver because that place just don't excite me.
I'm only going to Denver if I get a line on some good tickets. And welcome to Oso in the house as well. And Raphael, I see you, Raphael. We're gonna Thanos is gonna pop in a little bit, so don't go nowhere, Raphael. And I want to thank everybody. JT's in the house. JT's a bitcher as well, but that's okay. He calls McDaniels other names as well. I don't do it, man. Just let him coach, man. Just let him coach. Go ahead there, Thanos. Finish it up, bro.
So as I was saying, I might end up watching the game from Vegas, the Denver game. Because as you know, for the past 7-8 years, I go to Vegas that time of year anyway. Except this year, we're throwing a curveball with both of the opening games being on the road. Because when it comes to Denver, I would rather get root canal from a blind dentist with a broken hand before I go to that damn land of nothingness and bad beer. So, but it's going to be an interesting year. It's time to turn the page. Raider Nation, we've been here before, and this is what separates the few and the true from the bandwagoners and the personality cult worshipers. I've been doing this north for 45 years. I don't know anything else. I will see you good folks in September. Win, lose, or draw, Black Thanos is going to stand tall.
There you go, brother. More picks with the old bastard captain and Black Thanos upcoming on Fremont, if not elsewhere.
Absolutely. So it's good to see you again, Cap, and we will talk soon.
All right. You take care, brother. It's always a pleasure.
No doubt.
All right. Be well, and we'll see you up. And again, I appreciate seeing your mug. Don't chase all my women away though, because I'm trying to get as many as I can. But when they see your wonderful mug, and then they see that you got pictures of superstar Billy Graham, it's like that old pipe. The hell with it. Give me the looking black man. That's
with
what
them, with them premium seats you got, Cap. I can't compete. You're taking all the Raiderettes, but hey, like I said, there's nothing wrong with leftovers. You just got to know how to reheat them. So give me some leftovers.
I'll take any of your leftovers as well, bro.
All right, Cap.
Hey, you take care, bro. All right, that's Black Thanos. I love Black Thanos, man. And we got Puppet in the house, David Michael. Well, we got the Puppet Master. We got the Puppet Master. I'll make sure I show that again. David Michael, good to see you, brother. I miss you as well. I can't wait to see you out in Vegas, man. Can't wait to see you out in Vegas. And we're going to close our show, and I hope he's still here. I didn't get into a bunch of the comments because I was, mediating stuff. I apologize. Raphael, are you here, brother? What's going on with you tonight?
Oh, yes, I'm right here because I was watching the NBA Finals between Denver Nuggets versus Miami Heat, and that was really close.
I missed it. I thought that the Nuggets had that comfortably, and then I looked at the very end. I'm like, are you kidding? The Heat they did it. They won by 3.
Yeah, they won by 3. I mean, that was the closest game that I ever seen because all the defense and of course Jimmy Butler. I mean, those guys had the best recipe to have it at a good time. But I remember that, that was the first time that I just saw the Miami Heat in the finals. It was 2020 when everybody's coming down. But I think this is like the opportunity to see them, to Miami Heat to get into, because they had a great defense. They have a great offense, and of course they had Jimmy Butler. I mean, this guy's going to get really shocking about it. And that's gonna be like a really battle between Denver Nuggets versus Miami Heat. It's all about the defense, and then it's all about the offense. Like, this is something really important that every basketball fan could really watch this, because this is really important. And that was the 8 team who qualify with more victories in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting beaten by New York Knicks in 1999, but I was really important because only 23 teams they just won the second game for the finals out of the house, and only 7 in the cup. But that was just like a bribery final. But that wasn't like a spectacular night for Nikola Jokic. But it just sort of felt that. But it was all about for Aris Spoelstra, because he moved the team. He just like aggressivity, and he just on the benefit for launching for 3 points, and I was like, wow, this is because they had to do the same to close on the collective, but because they had some great percentage.
No, but I gotta ask you, Capitano Rafuccio, because from one captain to the other.
Yes.
Well, the captain and the capitan, because I got to say it with the nice Spanish accent, because there's only one captain, but there is
exactly.
Capitan. That's right.
Yes.
Now, with it going back to Miami 1-1, 1-1, what does that do? Does that make it? Obviously, it's more of a series, but who is going to do what in Miami? Is Miami going to win 2? Is Denver going to win 2? Or are they going to split in Miami? That's the question.
Oh, that's really tough because at the first game of the finals they just won Denver, and then in the second game they just won Miami. But I think this is gonna split those games. I mean, one time they're gonna win Denver, another game win Miami, and then they're going to win Denver, and then go to Miami, because it's gonna be like in 7 games. Mm-hmm. And for the 7th game, I would love to see Miami Heat winning 4-3 for the Denver Nuggets.
Okay, that was my next question. You went right to it. So you still think Miami's going to win in 7 in Denver?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. I don't think so. And until I see otherwise, I think if it goes 7, I'll take the Nuggets. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't admit to it, but I've been wrong before. So that's why I wanted to get from captain to capitan.
Yes.
And you're saying Miami in 7 winning in Denver.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Now, okay, the series is game 7 next Sunday if it goes, or is it like next Tuesday or something?
This is gonna be for between next Sunday or next Tuesday. It depends. It depends because I have it like at 3 days.
Okay. Matt says Denver in 6. So that means if Matt says Denver in 6, that means that somebody's going to take. He has Denver taking 2. He's got Denver taking like even on a split, but then he's got Denver winning 2 in Miami if to do it in 6. We'll see. Well, it's going to be a good series. That's why I said I don't watch basketball until the end because you know why. Now have you been watching the hockey playoffs?
Oh, you mean like the Stanley Cup?
Yes.
Oh, I was watching it about that because I was really interested in the hockey. But I think that I gotta be really, really shocked about it. But I just really shocked that Las Vegas Golden Knights they had to come back to beat Florida Panthers. I mean that they're just getting ready. They're just ready, and they had to keep the composure. Then that was really good, and that was say like the crucial penalty. They just followed it for like in a goal, and that was received for a high stick and confirmed. But I think for the difference because like I said, that I'm more solid because they just want to play the right way and to be disciplined, and that's where they're able to the better team. And that was something that I was really shocked because I didn't know that about this the hockey, but I when I just saw through the Stanley Cup, I was just like, wow, those are really interesting that they're talking about it. But I think there might be like a really shock if because Las Vegas Golden Knights might be the biggest surprise to winning the Stanley Cup. And I know the Florida Panthers had the cup for the first.
Who you got ultimately? Who's gonna win the Stanley Cup Finals, Rob?
Las Vegas Golden Knights.
You heard it from Ralph. I said Miami, the Panthers because of the rest, but they came off of that rest. They came out, I don't want to say that it was flat because I think it went to overtime the other day, right? Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good series either way. And Rafa, El Capitan, muchas gracias por su veo. And you remember, come on in anytime. It's always a pleasure, shipmate.
Yeah, there's always a pleasure. And of course, salute for you. Then, of course, I was here there in its time. And of course, Rafael Yacine, he had to send you much love and respect to all the chats right here. So salute to everybody else. Have a great night.
You got it, brother. Take care of yourself now. All right, that's Raphael. I wanted to get Vin Diesel in here, but your devices aren't. Yeah, you're not in. You're not in, JT. It says you're not in. I'm gonna kick you. I tell you, I'm gonna kick you out. I'm gonna kick you. Try to get your stuff squared up. Okay, now come back in again. I'll go over. I don't like going over 2 hours because then I can't use the show anymore. But try to come back in, JT, and we'll go over 2. But you weren't ready. It said devices not ready. Come back in if you can. If you come in before 2 hours, I'll wait. There we go. See, I was waiting on you. I wasn't. It said devices not connected. I'm for 2. I'm going over 2 for you, brother. What's going on? How you doing tonight? And welcome to the show as always. Give me that deep, dark voice. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Salute, brother. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Goddamn. Nah, let's not go over, man. I just want to say hello. Fucking bottoms up, smoking Memphis got him. Salute, man. Hey, I got you, brother. I'm listening, even though it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'll hop on tomorrow. You gonna run the show tomorrow?
No, I will be a Thursday. Maybe Thursday. Tuesday, but definitely Thursday. Come on in on Thursday, man.
All right. Hey, salute, brother. I'll be there, man. I don't want you to Run it up. Salute to everybody. I'm sorry. I've been doing kid stuff. Like
Hey,
I got a pool. Listen, I got a pool, and we got a neighborhood pool, right? There was literally 15 kids in my pool. I'm like, I got the whole fucking neighborhood in my pool.
Watch the F's. Watch the F's.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
That's what I know. It's you. It's cool.
I forgot. No, I forgot. Yeah. Salute the
Salute
F word. Salute.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'll see you on
Thursday.
see you on the other side, brother. Thursday.
Hey, take care, JT. Be well.
Hey,
we'll see you
take care,
Thursday,
brother.
man. All right. That's JT. We're gonna see him on Thursday. I got to do an abbreviated outro. Y'all take care. Come over Wednesday. What is it? The West, the Wild Wild West. I got to get out of here. Take care of yourselves, guys. We will pop on. Remember, Wednesday, Wild Wild West. Come in on Thursday. I might do a show on Tuesday. We'll see. Take care, everybody.